hope you guys are all having a wonderful day and ready to hear today's story. Today's story comes from John 5, and it is about the time when Jesus healed a man who was lame. In today's story, we're in Jerusalem. And in Jerusalem, there was a pool of water called Bethesda. And this pool of water was kind of special. And because of that, there were many people who were waiting by it. And these people were people who were very sick. And they were also people who couldn't see, who couldn't walk, or who couldn't move. And the reason why they were waiting by this pool was because there would be times in the year when an angel from the Lord would come down and stir the water of the pool, and the first person who would go into the pool after the water was stirred by the angel would be healed, and their sickness would go away. So because of that, there were many people waiting there who were very sick. One of these people who were waiting by the pool was a man who had been unable to walk for 38 years. Now, Jesus was in Jerusalem at this time, and Jesus saw this man, and he knew that this man had been unable to walk for 38 years, for a long time, and he had also been waiting by this pool for a really long time. So he asked him a simple question: "Do you wish to be well?" And the man told him that he didn't have anyone to put him into the water when the angel stirred up the water in the pool. So each time he would reach the pool, someone would have already taken the spot of the first one there and would have been made well. So he's been waiting there for a long time because of this. So Jesus told the man, "Take up your pallet," or the mat that he was laying on. He said, "Take up your mat and walk." Immediately, the man became well. He was able to walk, so he picked up his mat and he walked away. The thing was that this day that he did this was the Sabbath day, the day of rest. So that will be the reason of why someone approached the man and asked him why he was taking up his mat and walking. Because the day that this had all happened was the Sabbath day, or the day of rest, there were a set of rules that the Jewish people followed on this day. And one of those rules was that they were not allowed to pick up their pallet or their mat on the day, because it was considered work. Now, when the Jews saw that the man had picked up his pallet after being healed, they told him that he was not allowed to do that because it was a Sabbath day. But the man replied, saying that the person who made him better, who healed him, was the one that told him to pick up his pallet. So when the Jewish people heard this, they asked him who told him that. But when this all had happened, Jesus actually slipped away, and the man didn't know who Jesus was, so he was unable to answer. Afterwards, Jesus actually found the man in the temple, and he told the man that he has been made well, and told him not to sin anymore, and to not sin anymore so that nothing worse happened to him. So now the man knew who had healed him, that it was Jesus. So he went to the Jews and he told them that he was made well by Jesus. And because of that, the Jewish people persecuted or didn't like Jesus because he kept doing things on the Sabbath day, the day of rest, which was not allowed. In response to all of this, Jesus had told the Jews that just as God, his Father, had been working, he will also continue to work. even on the Sabbath. And when they heard this, the Jews didn't like Jesus even more. They they didn't like Jesus even. In response to all of this, Jesus told them that just as God, his Father, is working, he will also work. But when they heard this, the Jews didn't like Jesus even more. Now, Jesus not only was breaking the rules of the Sabbath, but he was also saying that he is God's son and made himself equal to him. We know that Jesus is God's son. We know that he had been sent from heaven to earth to save us from our sin. And just as the man in our story today had needed Jesus to help him and heal him from his sickness, and also Jesus had told him to not sin anymore, we also need Jesus in our lives today. If you choose to believe in Jesus, trust in him, and follow him and obey, you will also be free from your sin and healed from it. So I hope that you guys learned something from today's story, and that you remember this story as you continue learning more and more about who God is and who Jesus is. But for today, that is the end of our story and the end of our lesson. Next week, I'll be here with another story, so I hope to see you guys again. But till then, I'll say goodbye. Bye, guys!